Hey, this is Reagan Hughes, and I wanted to make a really quick video on what mountain bike do I need for Spider Mountain and or mountain biking in Texas, because we don't have Colorado sort of mountains. There's not a lot of mountain biking in Texas, so I have grown up in Texas and I got into mountain biking in Texas, so I want to share with you kind of my journey quickly on what bike you probably need for your applications. Started out on a spring fork Hardtail Specialized, and that was great for like learning just the layout of the bike and the muscle memory of everything. Specifically for Spider Mountain, I came here for the first time on that Hardtail with the spring fork, and it was a very negative experience because of how jarring and shuddering everything was. So I do not recommend a spring fork Hardtail for something like Spider Mountain. Going to the Giant stance, which had a 130mm full suspension, that wasn't enough. I was bottoming out on some areas in the trails here. However, if you're a really new rider, the stuff you'll be riding in Spider Mountain probably won't be my stuff. Now, I don't go as far as the double blacks, but I do some blacks. Put simply, if you want to ride all of the trails here in Spider Mountain, you're going to need a bike with something above 140, 150 millimeters of travel. Now, as far as the rest of Texas, do you need this kind of bike for the rest of Texas? Probably not. Now, I've taken this to Cameron Park, which has a lot of technical stuff, but not a lot of downhill, and it goes well beyond what you need for most of the trails in Texas. So, as far as like an all-around good mountain bike for Texas in general, I would recommend something around 140 millimeters of front travel and something around that for the rear travel. Now, if you're getting into mountain biking in Texas, what do I recommend? As far as your pocketbook and what you actually need as far as your skill level, because if you just jump on this and go down trails, it'll be plush and nice, but you don't really need it. And sometimes these are really expensive and hard to find used. I get that. So I would recommend, honestly, either a cheaper used full suspension with like 140 millimeters of travel, or if you're really tight, just get something with, you know, something around 700 bucks used for like a good hardtail that's a single speed with a good Brock shocks front fork, around 130 millimeters of travel or something like that. You can do most of the trails in Texas doing that. You just can't do hard, rigid downhill stuff with that sort of bike. Now, you might be wondering, how much did I buy this Process 153 for? Well, I bought it used, which I highly recommend. Always buy your mountain bikes used, in my opinion, if you know how to wrench on things a little bit. And even if you don't, it can still be cheaper. But I bought this Process 153 for $1,800. The gentleman I bought it for was sponsored by Kona for a time. I don't really know the full story on that, but he got this for a very cheap price. And he thought, if I got it for a cheap, affordable price and I haven't used it much, there's no point in me trying to make a profit off of it. I think that's honorable. And so he sold it to me for 1,800 bucks, when in reality, this thing brand new is basically $4 grand. So, quick thing off topic, but I wanted to put this in here. If you have an expensive mountain bike and you want to keep tabs on it, then a simple trick is install an air tag. Guess where the air tag is on this bike? You might know. It's in here. I want to keep track on this bike because sometimes I have it on the back of a car, or I recently had my car broken into and everything inside stolen, and that was really frustrating. So for $25, you can get an air tag and put it on your mountain bike. You can buy this pretty cheap. I think it was 15, 20 bucks off Amazon, and you can keep track of it in case it does get stolen. So quick little tidbit in there, that helps.